Welcome to today's episode of Real Estate Therapy, Staff Edition. On today's episode, we'll be asking members of staff when they made your first sales, how they got your first clients, their experience during the sales, and so much more. So, let's get started.
My name is Martha Omale, and I'm the admin manager of Onyx Global Business Investment Limited.
Ade Samuel, the head of the inspection team at Onyx Global Business Investment Limited.
Goodness Okike, and I'm the secretary of Onyx Global Business Investment Limited.
Molly Daniel C, and I am the inspection manager for Onyx Global Business Investment Limited.
Joshua Precious, and I am the customer care representative of Onyx Global Business Investment Limited.
John Kennedy. I'm one of the inspection manager at Onyx Global Business Investment Limited.
Adewumi, and I'm the admin manager of Onyx Global Ekpe branch.
Yeah, my name is Blessing Ohen Osai. I am the director of operations Onyx Global Business Investment Limited.
Ladeshikwe Damilola. I'm the inspection manager for Onyx branch Ekpe.
How I got my first client. I met my first client on Facebook. He's somebody I've not seen before, but he actually kept commenting on my efforts each time I post properties or anything concerning real estate and all of that. So one of the days he actually commented on my Facebook post, and I actually used that medium to pitch real estate to him. And since from that time, I've been following up. It wasn't easy because I kept following up. At the point, I felt like I'm bugging him too much. But then, as God will have it, he eventually patronized me.
Okay, how I got my first clients? Well, just a normal traditional marketing. I was out of the office that very afternoon, walking down home, and I saw this man. He owns a store. So I spoke to him about investment, and he was convinced of everything I told him, and he showed interest of buying into one of the property I projected to him. It's been a long time, but I think I can remember something. At first, when it got to payment plan, and he was telling me how much he wants to drop as an initial deposit. And someone is my first time of making sales, so I was like, oh my God, anything that will make this man not to be paid down this morning, I reject it in the name of Jesus. And I was like nervous, oh my God, let him just make this initial deposit. I think that was my experience then.
So my first client was a friend of mine from school. So he said he wanted to buy a land in Ekpe, something that is not too expensive and quite affordable. And he said he noticed that I've been posting about real estate and I'm working for a real estate company. So then I introduced him to one of our products in Ekpe, Ruby Estate. That is not is after the toll gate, and he fell in love with the property and he went for it.
I think that was last year, 2022. Yes. And though it was at a church, like we went for a church program, something, yes. So after the church program, me and some of my colleagues, so we decided to go prospect to some people because we found out so many dignities came for that program. So we decided to go and prospect to them and see what will come out of it. So there's this one man, though I prospected to so many people, there's this one man that, I was always disturbing online about investing. So he keep on telling me that I should not worry, that he's on it and he will always let me know when he's ready to invest or something. So at a time, it's not as if I gave up, no. I was still posting and still keeping in touch with him. But it was not like the way it is before. So there was a time that last year, I think that was September last year, we had a 50% promo discount. So actually that time, I'm not sure I sent him any flyer directly or telling him about the promos directly, no. I just posted on my status. I think that was WhatsApp status. So he saw the flyer talking about the 50% discounts. So he was like, wow, he was the one that chatted me asking me if I'm serious about this promo, how is it going, and everything. Okay, so I have to respond, gave him the necessary information he needed. Believe you me, the next day, this man came down to the office, he went to the site, he came back from the site, he made his payment, full payment that very day. No stress, nothing. I didn't tell him about that promo. He saw it on my status and he DM'd me. That was how I closed that deal. It was perfect. And I was so happy about it.
It was a friend. We actually met at the airport because we flew down from Abuja to Lagos together. And from then, we started talking about various things, about family, lifestyle, and what we do for a living. So at that point, there wasn't nothing much. We met in January. Then from then to March, I was just posting on my stories and everything. And one morning, he asked me like, oh, I've been into lands and properties and I would like to expand my business down to Bejuleki and Ekpe. And I actually sent him some properties we had at that moment. And I guess I sent him Iluoba, Kasuria, and some properties like that. So he actually took interest in Iluoba. We started discussing about it. And then he said, oh, I would really like to get this property. So there wasn't much difficulty for me because he's someone that has been into the business already and he knows everything about lands and getting the property.
Yes, how I got my first client. It was actually through a friend of mine via WhatsApp, and the experience was not really easy. Though it was on my previous office or company, it took me a whole lot of time in terms of convincing and all of it. But at the end, the client bought into the property and at the end it was sweet. Okay, here in Onyx Global, I've gotten over 3 clients. Yeah, 3 clients.
I actually joined the real estate industry in the year 2020, and I started the journey. It was not that easy for me though, but the MD of Onyx Global Business Investment Limited actually pushed us then to start posting on our status and whatever means of social media we can push. So I started, and on a fateful day, it was actually a Black Friday. We were having a promo on Black Friday. I think I posted on my status then, and one of my friends, we went to higher institution together. He saw the post and he was like, bro, Alpha, what's up with this promo? And I explained everything to him, the details, and he was like, okay, he's interested. Then he didn't even see the land. He just made the payment, and since then it's been okay. And the whole process seemed it was so seamless. There was no how do I call it? It was so seamless. Let me just put it like that. It was so seamless, and there was no stress during the whole process. And today he's allocated, he has his own plot, and ever since then I have been making some other sales also, and that's just it.
Before I joined Onyx, I was a consultant. So, and I made my first sales, I think 2020 or 2019. I really can't remember. So, and my first client was my childhood friend. The experience during these sales, okay. It was terrible because first off, she was my friend and she trusted me enough to give me her money to invest. And I didn't even do a lot of convincing. She just, believed in me, and I believed in the company, and the documentation was trash. I'm sorry to say, but it took them forever to get her documentations, like deed of assignments and contract of sales, and even our survey plan, it was very hard to get. It took almost a year to get those documents, and that kind of created some kind of enmity between I and my client, which is my friend, because she was really pissed. She trusted me, and then she's getting all of this, and to get allocation too was, in fact, the whole process took a year, which was what they promised her was instant allocation. What I told her was instant allocation. It took almost a year, so it kind of created, a lot of problems for us. And I'm sorry to say that's how that friendship, even if I tried to restore it, but that's how that friendship kind of, just died. And she was my childhood friend, so I had a terrible experience with my first sale, actually. Yes, I have made sales at Onyx, and it was fantastic, trust me. And I'm not even saying this because I'm a staff, to get. And okay, let me just say this. When after that sale or that client that I lost, and I had phobia for even talking to people about real estate. In fact, I just took myself away from anything real estate, to get. And then I was looking for a job, and then I got a job at Onyx. Like, I was literally forced back into the real estate world, and I got taught. And when it was time for documentation, when I made my first sales here in Onyx, it was smooth. And I'm like, okay, so it doesn't really have to be like that. Real estate is not like that. Those people were just probably quite slow or something. I don't know what happened to them, but trust me, it was smooth. And I think that's how it's actually supposed to be, because when we promise people instant allocation, we actually go through with the instant allocation. So yeah, I had a smooth idea in Onyx.
Okay, getting my first client wasn't really a stress, because it was a secondary school mate, which happened to be early January 2022. So he just saw my post and he was interested in a property. And though he was actually skeptical, which was kind of want to make it stressful, but at the long run, all he just wanted was just to see the property and be sure. So just took him down for inspection, and that was all. Immediately he got there, even though the intention was to get just a plot or have a plot, but eventually when he got there, he eventually bought 2 plots of land. So, and that was all.
My role model in the industry is Mr. David Abayomi, and he is the CEO of Onyx Global Business Investment Limited. I do like his drive towards the real estate industry and how he portrays it. He's very hardworking and dedicated to making sure that we, the upcoming consultants and rectors, we put our best effort into being the best in the field.
My role model in the industry, I think I will have to give it to number one is the MD of Onyx Global Business Investment Limited, Mr. David Abayomi. And there are some other people I look up to, not only one person, not two, but I can say the people that are making it big in the industry, those are my role model. Those are the people I look up to. I always want to be like them, making this, because whenever I see them closing big deals, I'll be like, wow, I would love to be like this one day. And those are my role model. But the number one is Mr. David Abayomi.
My role model in the real estate industry is my boss and the CEO of Onyx Global Business Investment Limited, Mr. David Abayomi Olabi is my role model. And my mentor, of course, he's also my mentor in real estate section, and I'm happy to have him as my mentor. Same person, Mr. David Abayomi Olabi, the MD/CEO of Onyx Global Business Investment Limited.
I won't really call him my role model, but somebody I admire so much in the real estate industry is Dr. Stephen Akintayo. I started following him through a friend. A friend actually recommended him to me since he knows I'm into real estate, somebody I can actually learn from. So I started following him. I follow most of his updates, and hearing his story from how he started to where he has gotten to, it really inspired me. So it's somebody I actually look up to in the industry.
Well, my role model in the industry has come way back from 2018, which is currently now Dr. Adekunle Ibrahim Israel. Well, actually, because I've seen his struggles, how he started, how he has pushed, and where he is today. So definitely is an example to follow.
My role model in the industry. Yeah, that was my former boss. My former boss was my role model.
Okay, so my role model goes by the name Mr. Ken. And he was the one that brought me into the real estate world. When I first became a consultant, he was one that brought me in and he trained me, but I had coconut head. So after that audio, I just left. And he was still the one that found me this job. I mean, guy literally wants me to be grounded in the real estate. And I think that's why he got me a job here in the real estate firm. And his quotes, his motivations, his pushing. Trust me, Mr. Ken is my mentor. Mr. Ken, thank you.
I have one and only role model in this industry. I give it to the MD and CEO of Onyx Global Business Investment Limited. Actually, it was actually his motivational thoughts that made me or pushed me to that prospecting. And I actually used his skills. The whole thing he used to say, the way he used to say it, the boldness and the authority. That was what I used. And that guy was seeing that in me, So I think he was the one that pushed me to this. And I followed his footsteps. Even till tomorrow, I still look up to him. So that's him. I give it to him. Shout out to Mr. David.
I would say my boss, Mr. David Abayomi. Yes, he's a good role model. He's an hardworking man and he knows what he wants and goes for it. And with the way he runs the company, he's someone you can look up to.
Okay, so my favorite estate has got to be Fantasy Estate. Yes, because I love the sea. I mean, it's a beachfront property. So, I mean, what's there not to love? Get your own spot, you get the view from your house. I mean, my favorite estate is Fantasy Estate, and that's actually what I would love to sell. Trust me.
If I should say, I will have so many estates I so much love or like, based on the development and everything there. But as it stands now, currently, I have to pick Kenan Estate. I see that estate that if I have my way tomorrow, I'm building inside that estate because I'm seeing it as if I'm staying in Beechwood Estate. It's right beside Beechwood Estate. And I see that place as a place that you can feel comfortable. You have your cool environment, like no disturbance, no noise. That place is very calm. So I think I have to choose Kenan Estate.
My favorite estate is the Onyx Kim one. I don't know why I love that estate so much, probably because of the name. Then the one I would love to sell is Fantasy. I actually like the location of the estate, the beachfront property, kind of feeling and vibe. So not really because of the price, because it's not the most expensive of all our estates, but I would love to sell Fantasy.
Right, my favorite estate currently is Abule Waterfront. That's my favorite estate. Because of what we're looking at in that particular estate. I remember I said waterfront. I think that location is a prime location also, which can fit in for different business activities. That's why I'm making it my favorite estate.
So which of the estates is my favorite and which I would like to sell? I have so many favorites and there's so many like Abule, Castle Royale, Ewa Gardens and Fantasy. My favorite would be Abule. Abule is a waterfront property. It's an amazing property. I would always want to key into it by making sure my clients, whenever they ask questions, oh, which property is on sale, I'll be like, Abule. Abule, it's so good. It's so good and it's a good investment. You should try to get one.
Okay, of all the properties that Onyx have, which one is the property I love so much I would love to sell? I just have 2 properties, and one is Kena Estate behind Beachwood Estate here in Shabati, Bejuleki, and the other one, Fantastic Estate. Very amazing because it is a beachfront property. These 2 estates, I love them so much. Of all the estates in Onyx, I think Ewa Gardens is my favorite for now. Is my favorite because of the developments around, like the Dangote Refinery, the deep sea ports, Lakampan Tropicana, and I would love to sell that estate. If I would like to own a property also, I would love to own that property because it's very close to development and the likes. So Ewa Gardens is my choice.
Actually, my favorite now, with what I know currently, is Canaan. It's Canaan Estates. Actually, because the projection I see there is actually fascinating.
My favorite property for Onyx right now is Onyx Abode. Yes, I would like to sell Onyx Abode, please. Onyx Abode is like in the developed area already. It's a building, it's an apartment. So I would like to sell Onyx Abode. Why? The commission is huge. It's expensive, yes. Onyx Abode is expensive. So come and buy Onyx Abode.
And that's the end of today's episode on real estate therapy. Now, do not forget to like, comment, share, turn on your notification button, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.